The media is like a carnival of loud voices, all barking about their big ideas. It's time to shut off the big ideas and get some big results. And this lady knows how to get results. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Workplace loyalty is a two-way street. Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm excited to meet with you today. Talking about work and talking about people and talking about loyalty. Why? Because in the grand scope of success, you have to know when it is appropriate to let people go and when it is appropriate to have a heart-to-heart conversation on when to stay. You know, we live in a culture that really doesn't have a lot of loyalty. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've noticed that a lot. And in order to have better than the status quo of success, because you and I both know that our culture is selling us a certain form of success, and it really is packed with lies, packed with things, you know, things that you're supposed to buy, right? That somehow stuff is going to make you feel successful or make you look successful. But in all reality, you and I deal with people every single day. And people can be an enormous stress for us. It really can. Or people can be an enormous blessing to us. And that's why we've got to learn new skills. And that's why we have this show every single day for both of us to be able to learn from each other, learn from our mistakes, as well as carving out a path that if we're on the wrong path, get on the right path. And you never know, today might be the day where you actually need a specific answer and you're going to get it. So we are going to be talking about loyalty. In fact, workplace loyalty, it is a two-way street. It really is a two-way street. And that's why it's important for us to kind of dig deep and see from both different perspectives and see how we can grow one another and grow each other and therefore grow business after business after business that will expand all over the globe. Meaning that if we can bring the right kind of training, the right kind of messaging, the right kind of mindset between both an employee and an employer, if we can build a bridge that has both of these walk along each other where there's agreement, now both parties can be winning. Versus most of the time, each party feels like they're losing. They really do. Employees feel like they don't get enough and the employer feels like they're not getting enough too. So how can we build a bridge from there? So I have a question for you. In fact, I want to read this to you. Two things I want to read to you. First of all, this is a quote by Vince Lombardi, a legendary. He's a legend on leadership. Amazing, amazing man. His opinion concerning loyalty is this. He says, individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes teamwork. That's what's make a team work, for a company to work, a society to work, a civilization to work. And that's so true. Individual commitment to a group effort. Each one of us have got to be committed to what the work is that we're doing. And that goes even for us in the home. Me as a mother of 5, grandmother of 7, only have 2 kids still left in the house. I still serve my husband every night. In fact, last night, both of our boys had other activities to do. It was just my husband and I. I still cooked an amazing meal for the 2 of us, even though it was just the 2 of us. And why? Because I need to have an individual commitment to a group effort, to a group win. And what do I mean by the group? Well, the group, as when I wear the mother-wife hat, and if you wear the husband-father hat, then that means you have a certain job, you have a certain position inside of that. And so it's really important for us to each do our part and be committed to our part to make the whole family do well and to make the team win, in this case of family. Or if it's about work, you know, if you have a company, you work for somebody else that does, or you have a church or a ministry or a charity or whatever, it's important to create and collaborate individual commitment and also commitment to the team. And as we do that, we lead with excellence and diligence, everybody is going to win, even through struggles, because we're all going to have struggles. We're all going to encounter some health issue at some point, or some pain, or, you know, neck pain, back pain, or people pain, or whatever the pain is. We are all going to encounter different struggles, different trials, you know, deaths in family, disease sometimes that comes on family, car accidents, God forbid. These things really do happen. And so a team has got to be loyal to be able to stick with one another as we walk through hard times together. A lot of people like to quit when things get rough. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they do. And it's sad, but it's a reality. I've done it. I'm sure you've done it too. We're always looking for something that's a little easier or a little better. So that's why it's important for us to really look inside our own hearts, analyze this thing called, loyalty, employee loyalty, and even employer loyalty for that matter. So Time Magazine reported that each year the average company loses anywhere from 20 to 50% of its employees. At careerbuilder.com survey that was done, they revealed that 76% of full-time workers would willingly leave their current workplace if a right opportunity came up for them. Loyalty is defined in the dictionary as being faithful to a cause, company, person, or product. That is the opposite of what we're seeing in the workforce today, isn't it? Someone that is loyal to a company, to a product, yes, to a cause. It's not something that we see a lot of. So, what is your opinion? What do you think about this whole employee loyalty issue? What do you think is more important, an employee being loyal to a company or a company being loyal to its employees? Let's go to the phones and see what your opinion is. We've got Debbie Cornwall from Kentucky. Debbie, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thank you.
So, what's your stance on employee loyalty or company
coming
loyalty?
from a nursing background, working in a management position, I feel like that it works both ways. I feel that the employer needs to be loyal to the employee, and the employee needs to be loyal to the employer. What I have found in my personal walk is that it starts with your leadership style. I feel like the being a servant leader.
Yes.
Your desire is to serve and be committed, and so when you practice in that manner, you build your employees up. They have value.
Yes.
Because the characteristics of a servant leader is listening, empathy, awareness, commitment to their growth. And in a lot of places, we don't see growth in the employee, so therefore they don't feel valued and they don't feel that they are moving in the right direction, and so they, tend to look for business elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that's what has been my experience.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Jesus gave us the best example.
Yes.
In John 13, 12 to 15, where he washed the disciples' feet.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to serve.
Yeah.
So for me, it starts with all of us. Every person, that's where it has to start to make this change.
Mm-hmm. I thoroughly agree with you. Now, I have a question for you. What exactly would you say does the employer loyalty look like?
Not very good.
No. What I'm saying is, tell me what a loyal employer looks like.
A loyal employer is someone who holds the person accountable, but they do it in the right way. They build that person up. Mm-hmm. They don't tear them down. Mm-hmm. They build their team, because every business is teamwork. A basketball team is not just one person; it's a full team.
That's right.
If you work in a restaurant, it's everybody. A hospital is everybody. It's not just the nurses; it's everybody, the ancillary staff. So you want to build that team.
Yeah. And
so you still have to hold them accountable, though. You have to have those crucial conversations. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
those crucial hard conversations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to hold people accountable, because if not, the people that are doing everything right get discouraged and they leave.
Yep. Okay, I think that's interesting, because I wonder what the perspective is of most employees who we're not in a management level, because I think you have a really good understanding of leadership. And I think everything you just said about what exemplifies an employer that is loyal is very opposite of what most people were thinking you were going to say. But I agree with you. Yes, they have to hold the employee accountable. They have to keep them on track, and do that through building them up and correcting them and then building them up again. Those are things that, and it's not easy. But something else I will tell you is that an employer has taken massive risks by hiring somebody.
Yes.
A huge amount of responsibility. Enormous amount of responsibility. A huge amount of pressure if they don't realize how to manage that pressure.
That's a very important key. But by training and by training that employee and offering extra knowledge and education, yes, they are pouring into that employee and they're building value in that employee.
Yep. I think that what part that needs to happen for the employee is to understand the investment that has been made into them, And that's employer loyalty as well. That employer has made sacrifices and put their neck on the line to start a business, to employ other people, and has made a commitment, a loyal commitment to that employee to do whatever they can to keep the doors open and to keep the business running so that the job is actually still there. That's huge. That's huge.
I would agree.
Yeah. And people that are not entrepreneurs, it's hard for them to see that that someone else is responsible for helping them provide for their families is a gigantic undertaking. And I think if employees saw that and went, wow, thank you so much for what you've done for me. Thank you for providing a place for me to work. Thank you for providing a place for me to make money. And then, of course, you have the rare companies that provide insurance or life insurance, dental, health benefits, all of that, vacation time, PTO. All of those things seem to get taken for granted and just left unnoticed. It almost is like it's expected. Employees kind of have this attitude that they expect that kind of a thing for them just being there, or the hard work that they feel like they are doing. But I believe that there is today less employee loyalty than there is employer loyalty. What do you believe?
I do believe that. I believe that we are seeing probably in the last decade or so, I call it the entitlement phase. Well, I've seen it, a lot in the nursing field, that the nurses, 25 years ago when I started out a nurse, I knew that I was going to have to do my fair share of the midnight shift before I, got a day shift. And now, we're seeing nurses come out and they feel like that they should have a day shift from right there.
Wow,
but
right from the
you
start.
see that in all jobs. It's not just that. It's just, there is a huge, it is a vicious cycle, because it's like, where will it be fixed? Because a lot of people do feel like they're entitled, and a lot of people don't want to work.
Yep. It's shocking, isn't it? It's a very scary trend of what's happening in our world today. I had this discussion with somebody. Scary. It really is. I had this discussion with somebody about something similar to this, but I think it's appropriate to talk about it. And it is that somebody can be a dreamer. We have a lot of dreamers out there right now. And there's a lot of hard workers also out there right now. But if the dreamer is not willing to pay their dues, they will never achieve the dream, ever. Now, hard work is not enough. You got to pay your dues. And you just brought that up. It's like, you knew when you ventured out in your dream career to be a nurse, you knew you were going to have to pay your dues of a certain amount of time of doing the night shift. And once you completed that, then you earned, after you showed yourself to be loyal, hardworking, dependable, then you got to earn the schedule that you wanted by paying your dues with a schedule that you didn't want. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this. The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Is commitment really important for success? Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. Thanks for joining us today on the Dani Johnson Show. The answer is yes! You cannot succeed without being committed. And my friend, I know that you and I have been sold a bag of dung of tips and techniques and strategies concerning success. And so many people out there just telling you to buy a lottery ticket or kiss this frog and your life is going to be great. Rub this rock. I used to do that. And you're going to be successful and everything's going to go great for you. Or come to Jesus and you never have another sad day again. Hooey. It's all a bunch of lies. But here's the truth about success. And why would we tell them the truth about success? Because you want to be successful. You are destined to be successful. And success, the road to success is filled with failures and struggles and people who quit and people who decide that they just don't like you anymore and they don't want to be around you anymore and they just want to quit the marriage or they want to quit being a parent. Can't believe how many women today who are abandoning their children. Like, really? Man, we never would have heard about that in the 80s. But boy, have we heard a lot about that in the year 2000 and something. Shocking. Anyway, so today we are talking about employee loyalty as well as employer loyalty, and whether or not we are seeing a trend of people who are less committed to their work lives, less committed to the cause, less committed to the ministry, less committed in the place of where they are able to pay or earn money to pay for their daily needs and wants, for that matter. So anyway, we've had an amazing discussion already. I'm loving the feedback that I'm getting from you. You amaze me. I'm so blessed that I get to talk to you every single day, because seriously, I'm learning stuff in today's show, and I know that you're going to learn some stuff as well. So I'm getting the opinions of the people as far as what is more important, employee loyalty or not. I got to read this to you. Proverbs 12:24, so powerful. It says, "The hand of the diligent will rule, but the slack hand will be put to forced labor." Two roads, friends. Either from the beginning we can be committed and diligent and focused and controlled, self-controlled, or we can pick the other side, which is what the fool does. And they have a slack hand. And it says the slack hand, in the beginning it's like, oh, I'm going to take this easy job. I'm going to take this non-stressful job. I'm going to take this easy path. I'm on easy street. How do I get to easy straight? How do I get there? Do I turn right here? If I turn right, will I get to easy straight? And then do I go over the bridge? And then I'm there, I'm good? I don't want one of them important jobs. I don't want one of them higher jobs. I just want the easy job. Yep. Bottom line, man, the fact is it really easy? Taking the easy way up front always is harder in the end. It is. Why? Because that easy thing, what is it? You're never going to make enough money to provide for yourself and your family. You'll end up fully in debt because you can't pay your bills. You end up struggling as soon as someone breaks their leg. Your kid broke their arm. Oh no, we got these bills now, right? And then we're using our credit cards to just make ends meet. Is it really easy street? No, it's not. It's hard in the end. And that's why this incredible piece of wisdom that says that the hand of the diligent will rule. But the slack hand will be put to forced labor. They'll be forced in bondage to try to pay for all that they were not willing to do in the beginning. This is life. Did you hear what I said? This is life. So you got to pick, is it easy street, or am I going the way that has stress in it, that has challenges in it, that it requires me to learn, requires me to be disciplined, requires me to be focused? That actually will pull the best out of you. It really will. I'm not saying go find something stressful to do. No, that's not what I'm saying. But anything that is going to require better out of you from time to time is going to be stressful. And if you are afraid of that, there's a problem. And you can learn how to manage stress. You can. And a lot of stress is emotional. It's undealt with issues. And if you want to be successful, you got to deal with your junk. You do. You got to deal with your stuff. If you fly off the handle so easily like a fool does, like I have done so many times, when you do that, friend, this hurts your value in the marketplace. It hurts your value at home. And the marketplace pays for value. And if you're an overreactor, because you haven't dealt with your inner junk, your inner issues, your inner heart, your inner mindset, so therefore you can freak out on people super fast, you got to grow personally so that you have less stress at what you're doing. Don't be running from stress. You want to be wise with stress. Learn how to manage that stress. That's what you got to do. All right, so we're talking today about that loyalty and making wise choices with employees, and what kind of a trend are we actually seeing? And do you believe that an employer is loyal for the fact that they started a business? And what proves that an employer is loyal to their employees? And what proves that an employee is loyal to their employer? What proves it? What does that actually look like? And let me tell you something. Those that are committed take ownership in that job. And loyalty comes out of that. And those people make more. They do. It shows in the fruit of their life. It shows in the work that they bring. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Are you ready for a whole new mindset? This is the Dani Johnson Show.
I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's DANI Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Where you have no roots, you will not bear fruit. We live in a society today. There's been a new trend that's happened over the last 15 years, 10, 15 years, where people do not grow roots, but constantly uprooting themselves from one profession to the next, one company to the next, one product to the next, but not ever rooting themselves. The bottom line is if you do not have roots, deep and wide roots, you will not bear much fruit. We want to help you bear much fruit. Today, we live in a world where there's less loyalty. This is where you can actually shine. So we've got Jessica Vaughn from South Boston, Virginia. That's what that says, South Boston, Virginia. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
So good. So what are your thoughts about employee and employee loyalty?
I believe they're both equally important. I've seen great employees get treated like crap, and it affects their work performance.
Totally.
Because if there's constantly being death spoken over them by an employer, then it's going to make them not work so great because it's what the employer is expecting out of them. So I think it's important to speak life over your employees. And I've seen where somebody's work performance might not be so great, but they had a friendship with a boss, and that was their job security. Now, to me, seeing that and seeing somebody else with a great work performance that didn't have a friendship with somebody in the workplace, to me it's kind of sickening to see someone with the friendship favored over the one with the good work performance.
Really? Hold on one second, Jessica. Let's dissect that. Let's actually look at that. Why wouldn't the person, here's what's going on, the person with the good work ethic has terrible people skills with the boss.
Right.
So the value that an employee brings, is it just the tasks that they bring to the table?
Well, I'm starting to see the importance now of something I've heard you talk about, and this is something I needed working on for because I've always been the type to not mix business with pleasure. You know, when I get off work, I'm like, okay, that's the last place I want to see. That's the last people I want to hang out with. I want to hang out with my friends. You know, instead of going out with coworkers or whatever, and especially if they like to get together and gossip about the other employees. I just always like to stay outside of the gossip ring.
Staying out of the gossip ring is wise.
Like
That's
a lot
wise.
Of them do together.
Not having a relationship with your boss is not wise. It's just not wise. The bottom line is that a relationship, a loyal relationship, a camaraderie, a personal admiration for each other, a mutually beneficial, mutually encouraging relationship with your boss will give you so much more mercy and grace when you do screw up. But when someone is a jerk and someone they do their task but they're cold, or someone does their task but they suck the oxygen out of the building because they're a sourpuss and they don't like anybody there, that actually creates politics. I don't know if you know that. Because the other employees look at that person and go, he doesn't like me. Why is that guy always right? Do you know what I'm saying? We're human and we desire relationships. And so we will always have much more grace and mercy with those that we honor and respect. And when we are cold and we keep to ourselves and we're isolated, this does not create loyalty from both places at all. So that's the one place that I will challenge you. I agree that it is not right for the guy that made a friend with the boss that somehow he gets more mercy, but that's human nature. And what most employees don't realize, and employers don't realize, is that we will all get much more out of each other if we have a good working relationship. And a good working relationship requires for people to understand people. What does that mean? What do we all want? We all want to be honored and respected. We all want to feel special. We all need encouragement. The boss has more pressure on them than anybody else. And they're looked at, they're gossiped about, they're looked at with a magnifying glass. There's people all around them not holding their deadlines. There's people all around them dropping balls, which then causes them to look bad before their boss. You know what I mean? So when people go, wait a second, how can I fill the needs of those that I work with? What are their needs? Everyone wants to feel special and important. Everybody does. Everybody does. So simple little notes, simple smile, simple little word of encouragement to everybody, not just the boss, but to everybody, will always get us much more grace because we work with people, not just tasks. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I'm definitely starting to see the importance in that now, just through experience in workplaces where things didn't go so good because I didn't form those relationships that I should have. So I appreciate your words of encouragement. It's teaching me a whole lot.
That's so awesome.
I do see the importance in that now.
Yep.
Definitely. I've built relationships with customers before, and I've had them bring me things. And,
exactly.
Appreciate our relationship.
Okay, but look at that, Jessica. Loyal. Even look at that. So there's another guy that doesn't build a relationship with the customer, right? You build a relationship with the customer brings you flowers. The other guy is like, hey, I'm giving the same service. What's up? This isn't fair. Why are they requesting her and not me? In fact, I got more done. I did more tasks than she did. Why is she getting special treatment? Because she's giving people what they want, which is what? Special treatment. Honor and respect.
With my employees and my boss, I'm going to have to learn to do that now.
Yes, Mama. You are, and you will become so much more valuable. Trust me, I've been an employer for 25 years. Oh, my gosh. I promise you, I'm telling you the truth. This is a hidden secret that employers don't ever say, but this is so important for you to do. You relieve your employer and your coworkers of stress when you smile and build relationship with them. When you care about them, that helps them get through the day with more fuel, more fire, more precision, more diligence, all of that stuff. And that's how you become more valuable in the marketplace. I love this conversation. I could talk about this all the time. Okay, I've got Fabi Lara from Winnipeg, Canada. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. What is your opinion about all that?
Dani.
Hi.
Hi.
So what are your thoughts about employee versus employer loyalty?
Well, I own my own business, and so my views are from somebody who needs to go out there and find good people to work with me. And so I think you already know what I'm going to say.
Come on, Mama.
Because you have a lot of experience with that.
Yes. That in itself is a burden, is it not, Fabi? That in itself is a huge burden. Huge. And by the way, I'm praying for you. Every single morning, I'm praying for you. Every day, I am praying for you as well as all the other clients that have a need with finding amazing people, highly skilled, diligent, committed, people that see the vision, not someone that needs to be carried, but someone that's willing to carry part of the load, someone that's going to be a contributor into your business and bring new ideas and bring talents and bring even customers. Wow, novel concept. You know what I mean?
I have a short story about somebody who got a turnaround inside my company, partly due to your teachings. Can I tell it really quick?
Sure.
So there was this one woman who was working with me, and I have an online language company, okay? Nice. And so she was a teacher. But there were many problems, and let's just say that she wasn't fulfilling her potential, right? Yeah. So if there were to be a short list of the people leaving the company, she would definitely be on it. Yeah. The thing is, for some odd reason, I don't know, maybe God spoke to her, maybe she saw some of your content, something happened, and she came up to me one day and said, look, I really get what the company's all about. I really love my students, and I would like to do more. And that just opened the doors of heaven, because I started giving her, extra things here and there for her to do. I gave her more responsibility, and she took initiative.
Wow.
She really made every little project her own project. It's like she owned the company.
Yes.
And she grew, and she grew, and she grew. And this happened about a year ago, right? And right now, she is easy making twice as much as she used to do. And next time when there's a bigger project, when I open a second business, there is no way
doubt.
that she won't take part as a manager in this new project. There's just no way.
Yeah, and that's from Job Domination. We teach that content on job domination. It's very, very powerful. On this conversation, Fabi, I got to tell you this. I was in Los Angeles recently training with about almost 1,000 people for 3 days. And one of the things I really camped out on, which I think would also be helpful and beneficial for any of your employees, is the understanding that every employee and employer is representation of the brand. We all are a representation of the brand. When we're at work and when we're not at work, we are representation of the brand. And so one of the questions I asked the crowd was, how many of you want to make more money? Of course, everybody wants to make more money. And I said, well, tell me, who have you helped to make more money recently? They're stunned. What? Yeah, that's how you will make more money. So let me ask you this. How many customers have you personally brought into the business that you work for? Last week, how many new leads, how many new customers, how many new sales did you bring in just last week? And they're like looking around like, what? It's not my job. I'm the receptionist. It's not my job. I work in the warehouse. It's not my job. Oh, no, it is your job. The only way you're going to keep your job is by helping that business bring in new business. Wait
exactly.
a second. And how do we make sure that no new business comes in? I'm going to talk about that right after this next break. Stick with me. This is Dani Johnson. You're going to get a raise once you apply this one little strategy. I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises. You're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
And now back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So what can you do to raise your income? Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about making more money in all reality. That's what the show kind of bent into. I was there in Los Angeles talking with a group of people, and I asked, how many of you want to make? It was about 1,000 people. How many want to make more money? Oh, yeah. You know, everybody wants to. Yet they're not willing to do what it takes to actually make more money. That's a reality. Now, I know that there were some in that room that took exactly what I told them to do, and I know that they got the results from it. But one of the strategies that I gave was this. Know that you are representing a brand on the clock and off the clock. Yeah, one of the ways that you can hurt your income is by, talking bad about your brand. Oh, how was work? You know, you're at your barbecue on the weekend, right? Hey, how was work? Oh, man, I'm just glad the week is over. I'm just so happy. I got my beer, got my Bud Light. Yeah, I hate my job. Yeah, I hate it. Oh, that's smart. Everyone knows that you work for such and such lawn care. I hate my job. I hate my boss. You're actually hurting that business, where that moment right there was a perfect opportunity to say, I am so blessed to have a job. I am so blessed to have this employer who has entrusted me with tasks that I get to perform every single week, and he's given me an opportunity to grow. I'm excited that I actually get to put food on the table for my family. I love working for this company. I am so grateful. Oh, what company is that? Such and such lawn care. Oh, what do they do? This is what they do. Oh, bam. You just spread the news. You were a commercial to your friends and your family members. Another way that you can make more money is to reach out to your friends and family members representing the brand that you work for 8 to 5 every day. When you do that, whatever that product is, I don't care if it's mayonnaise, mustard, oil, it doesn't matter, stereo equipment, it doesn't matter what it is. You'd be amazed out of everyone that's in your center of influence who could use or may know someone else that could use the products and services that you are a brand 8 to 5 every day, because if you bring other customers in, now you've made yourself more valuable. Now you have ownership of that business. Now you're helping to grow that business. That is loyalty. That's what loyalty looks like. That's what brand loyalty looks like. That's what customer loyalty looks like. That's what employee loyalty looks like. That's what employer loyalty looks like. Dani, how is that employer loyalty? Look, friend, if the owner of the business is not promoting the brand, the product, the service that they represent, guess what? The business is going to go out of business, which means you're not going to have a job. So the employer is loyal because they are committed to bringing in more business to help to provide for all of the people that they are responsible for. I hope that makes sense to you. Yes, I hope that makes sense to you. I really like talking about this subject with you. Yeah, I do. I know that's going to help you. I absolutely know that's going to help you. All right, we have Fabi from Winnipeg, Canada, still on the line. Fabi, I love what you said, that you had a girl who came to our trainings, learned this concept, what I basically just shared. She took ownership over it. She loved on those students of your language school. She put more ownership into it, excellence and diligence. This girl has risen up, and you're going to promote her into a management position. How awesome is that?
It's brilliant. I'm loving it. And, that's the difference, too, because when you see somebody who really understands the concept of your company and what it does, then you want to treat them even better than you would, any other person.
Yes, because a big complaint that a lot of employers have is unmotivated people. People are just not motivated. They don't care about their job. And yet the employer is taking the risk, and the employer cares about them, but it's not a two-way street. And the only way to build a company is to build both, loyalty both ways. So I appreciate your comments tremendously. And thanks for that insight, too, that you're like, man, how much do you want to invest into someone that's not committed? You don't.
Exactly. Not much.
They're on the short list. You can't wait to let them go. Thanks so much for the call. Thanks for your comments. Okay, we got Cynthia from California. Cynthia, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Thank you.
So tell me, what are your thoughts on this?
So my thoughts are that the Bible says to obey your earthly masters and work as if working for the Lord.
Yes. Colossians 3.
My opinion is that if you when you go, I spend my waking hours with my coworkers and my bosses.
Yep.
I spend more waking hours with them than I do my family.
Yep.
So it's so important to have that relationship. I don't want to dread going to work. So I thank God every day for the job that I do have and for all those reasons that you stated.
Yep.
And I just think that the relationships are very important.
Yep.
I'm in a job right now. I have no professional training in this except my own personal training. I'm funny about my own checkbook, and now I do accounts payable for millions of dollars, and I'm funny about somebody else's checkbook. Nice. And so that has taken me far.
Yes.
It's producing income for me.
Yes.
And then, all of the principles, the war on debt. But I just think that it's so important that when we go to work, if it's not a good environment, what can you do to make it better?
Exactly. Not how do I get out of here?
Right. I love coming to work. It doesn't bother me at all.
Isn't that interesting? Because, and I know for me, I worked back in my early teen years. I've been in business since I was 19, and then I had a job as a cocktail waitress at 21 when I was homeless for a little short stint of time. And it really is wild how when we don't like an environment, we just try to replace it. It's the same, unfortunately, that happens in marriage. It's not working.
Right.
I'm done. I'm out of here. That's not how you succeed. You have to have roots. You have to learn. And if you hate the environment, how can you be about fixing it, changing it, making it better? Every one of us has the power within us to be able to affect and infect an environment. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And so a woman like you, Cynthia, will you clone yourself? Come work with me.
I would love to.
There's nothing like having somebody who has made the choice to love their job, because loving your job is a choice. It is. Yeah. In fact, you mentioned the Bible, so I'm going there with you, baby. You know what? King Solomon, the richest man that ever walked this earth. You can line up all the billionaires and millionaires on the planet today. They don't even come close to his riches. And check it out. This is what he said. All that a man or woman can do is to eat and drink and enjoy their work, to find satisfaction in their work. Everything else, he says, is meaningless. I found that to be so crazy. I was sitting on my porch and I was very unsatisfied with my business. I just was like, I was complaining like crazy about all these things I didn't like about it and the people that I was working with and the market and I just was like, just being a brat, a spoiled, rotten brat as I'm sitting in my 6,000 square foot house like an idiot that I should have never bought. And here I came across that piece of wisdom that all a man has is to eat and drink and find satisfaction in his work. And this is what stood out to me. Whoa. Find satisfaction in his work. That doesn't mean find work that satisfies you. That means find the satisfaction in the work. And then this was illuminated to me, Cynthia. And what was illuminated was, hold on a second. How do you find satisfaction in your work? It's what you bring to the table. When you work with excellence and diligence, when you clean that toaster oven and you get every speck of burnt stuff off of it, how do you feel? You feel good.
Yeah, amazing.
When you clean your car, you spit shine that sucker. You feel good, man. Look at that thing. You clean the garage and get it totally organized. Man, you feel good about that. Excellence and diligence is what brings satisfaction. Lazy people are never satisfied. Uncommitted people are never satisfied. They never are, constantly complaining. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
No more fear, no more shame, no more excuses. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
You're going to get a raise. You're going to get a raise. You're going to get a raise. You're going to get promoted. Things are going to get better, especially if you follow the things that you heard today on this show. Wow. Come on, look at every single one of the callers, all these faithful people to the Dani Johnson Show. Look what they've done. Man, they've brought such rich content, their own experiences that challenge us. And man, I heard so many good reminders today. Did you? Oy, oy, oy. We all need reminders. We cannot forget how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to grow and how we determine whether or not we're going to succeed based on our actions, based on our attitude, based on the strategies that we're using or the ones we refuse to use. I hope you choose the right thing today and you choose to make wise choices. 2 things I want to direct you in. 1, do you have your free copy of First Steps to Wealth? This has 2 chapters on it about being an employeepreneur. It also is filled for tips for entrepreneurs on being able to motivate their people, employees learning how to motivate themselves. That's what's inside of this book, First Steps to Wealth. Not only that, specific time-tested strategies that will raise your income. You can grab just 1 tip out of this book that's going to get you a raise if you follow it. You know, there's so many people that may have read this and gone, oh yeah, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. The good idea ain't gonna make you money until you implement it. And sometimes we forget. I know I do. I know I forget all the time. So that's why today was like so important. I got so many reminders about my own attitude that needs to be correct. So First Steps to Wealth, we'd love to give you a free copy, especially if this is your first time joining us. Call this phone number and ask for Nellie or Nate. They'd be happy to serve you immediately. 866-760-8255. That's First Steps to Wealth. Again, that's 866-760-8255. Nate or Nellie will be happy to serve you. Tell them that you would like to get a copy of First Steps to Wealth. Now, we'll send you an ebook absolutely free right now. If you would like a physical copy, I think it would be fair that you put some skin in the game. You pay the shipping and handling. We will pay for the $15 book. All right? Fair enough? Again, 866-760-8255. You want to grow in your career. I promise you. You want to become so valuable. You want your business to become more valuable. Strategies are right here. One strategy that I can tell you that has added more value into the marketplace also is, and has helped me to break my complaining nature, my critical nature, is focusing on helping people who can't help themselves. This is an important strategy to grow your finances. It's an important strategy to grow your influence, and as well as to develop a heart and character of true servant leadership. The poor. I'm talking about the extreme poor. We don't have extreme poor in our country at all. When I mean extreme poor, meaning no house, no food, no water, nothing. We're going to build 1,000 families a brand new home, and we're going to put them in business where they will have sustainable water right in their home. They will have a place to cook and protect their families. 1,000 families that have extreme poverty are no longer going to have it, and you were one who helped. Go to kingsransom.org. Santa Pancha, Nicaragua is the project. kingsransom.org. Go there now and give what you can. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Helping you become all you were meant to be. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.